change nañ fi foog naa 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 about 8 lampa change nañ ko fi. waaw 8 lampa waaw.
te fayuloo bu tuut.
déedéet fayuñ ci bu tuut nag. fayuñ ci dërëm di leen sant di leen gërëm rek. ci teewaay bi.
lampa yii mooy suñ jàmm lampa yi dañuy ñëw dimbale ñu te lampa ñëpp a ko war a jënd ñëpp a ko war a am koo xam ne kii fu mu em nga xam ne fi la em waaye boo xam ne biir bool bi war nañu ba war ñu bu 75 waaye 75 boobu baax na loo xam ne 75 boo xam def la koobaal xëy na $1000 wala 500 loolu baax na te ñun ñëpp war nañ koo wut te maa ngi oote ñëpp képp koo xam ne yaa ngi amee kër amee lampa di ko taal na nga jënd bool yu weex yii nii mooy suñ jàmm moo ñoo wàññi suñ courant yi te njaboot ku ko wàññil courant am na fu mu ko dugal ci njaboot gi.
ci nekk daal soo gisul nii sa kër nga uti ji leen nga fexe waxtaan ak ñoom bañ la indil yu mel nii parce que yu mel nii dafa jafee am soo ko amee sa kër te génnewloo ci butuut dafa nekk li góorgóorlu ci rek waaw lii moom liggéey bu rafet la rafet nañ leen ci affaire bi daal.
We did this in 2009 in Kanifing. So we came with the idea to continue the same advocacy, extending it to Banjul, being the capital. And Tobacco area has been the fortunate place to do this particular event for this time.
The exercise went very well. The message was sent to the people, and I think it homed in. When we went about the various compounds, changing bulbs, as soon as we reach the compound and tell them we have arrived, they receive us with open arms and take us to the various outlets and rooms to show us the various incandescent lights and tell us to change it so that they can reap the benefit of CFL. So in that vein, the message has gone in. Globally, we can be able to sustain and maintain the fight, which is very, very important. At the long run, it affects everyone. Climate change is real and is something that should be fought with all efforts possible. So this is one way of fighting it and one way of making people conscious of using and changing their lifestyle to enhance nature and preserve nature.
We've been going around to different people's houses, the compounds, up, down this road and on the left, and changing all the light bulbs for people who have the incandescent light bulbs, and telling them about the benefits of the new light bulbs and explaining to them why they need to maintain the CFL as opposed to the older version that they've been using. So it's been really long, but it's been very fruitful. I mean, they've been really excited, and they've asked a lot of questions, and they've showed us their bills, and some of them have, we showed them how hot the light bulbs were when they took them off compared to when we put them on, the difference in the lighting. So, I mean, I think they really learned a lot, and we also got to really meet the people that we're working for and working with.
Energy saver bulb because man yaga na ko am te da nga gis ne suma bill bi dafa am difference because maa ngi am néeg bu mag waaye maa ngi fay less than $700 every month waaye beneen bulb bi nag gars yi dañ am over $1,000 because of ñu ngi am the different bulb.
Some houses we went to, we didn't do any changes because they already had CFL light bulbs in all their rooms, and some houses had, half in some rooms and half in others were the incandescent. So I guess that was a cost issue. Some houses had no light bulbs at all that were CFL. So it was a combination, but I think, a lot of them had already been to the morning program, and so they knew what the CFL bulbs were. They were wearing the T-shirts, and they were saying to us, so, this light bulb would mean that our light bills are going much lower, and we'd explain to them how it was.
Despite the hot weather, we really enjoy what we're doing, and we wish we could do more. Like DG said, this time is 1,000, so we're hoping to go on 2,000, 3,000, up to 10,000 bulbs, if possible. So we're putting our fingers crossed and hoping that there will be more next year, in addition to these 1,000 bulbs that we have today.
Like, we're setting the framework, we're dealing with all the regulatory issues, and knowing who you're regulating and how you're regulating them and the effects of the regulation also makes you make more informed decisions. So in as much as it's different from what I do, it makes me now a better licensing or legal person because I know what the actual issues are on the ground and how to actually put the policies in place to improve them as opposed to abstract.
No, honestly, it has been a very exciting day. We came out here to change people's light bulbs, to sensitize them with regards to their way of using light bulbs or their way of dealing with lights in general. And we found to our delight that some people actually, some of the compounds that we've been to, are actually using this energy-saving light bulb. Not all of them, but then again, it's encouraging to see that people on their own volition are going out and doing exactly that, changing the light bulbs. And this is part of what Pura does best, information, communication and education. We educate them with regards to the services that they consume. Our role is really a very tricky one in that we have to balance the interests of the consumer and the operator. And in balancing the interests of the consumer and the operator, you come across a lot of challenges in terms of, how do you do that? Some will even argue that's not possible. Yeah. But then we make it possible in that what we do is really, I think if you use this as a point in case, what we've done here is that we have helped the consumer directly and indirectly helped the operator. I would like to see more of this type of intervention where we get out there, the Bantaba type of things, the consumer parliaments, and the outreach things that we do. These are the things that people can really feel in their pockets. Although most of the work we do ultimately benefits them. But then it's not translated in terms of how they feel this in their pockets. But things like this, people will tell you, next month my bill is definitely reduced by 60, 70%. It's something that is tangible to them. So it means this is something that they will relate, that they will discuss, and that they will share. Just like the experiences we're having with 148, those people who have been using this system, it's a free phone number that anybody can call from any network. That you call if you have a problem with your service provider and the problem is not solved. You get to call this number and then we step in and do the work for you. Most of the people that we have calling and repeat callers, these are people who have experienced it, or these are people who have been directed, or who have been narrated to by others who have used the service with delight to say this is a system that actually works. In some cases, they don't even tell you, if I call a service provider and just mention, oh, if you don't do this, I'll call Pura, the problem tends to be solved before it even gets to us. Ideally, that's what we want. We don't want people to come to us because we know that an informed consumer will make informed choices with regards to the services that they consume.
Like for some people who are not fortunate to attend this gathering today and to see for themselves what we are doing, we encourage them to call 148 as usual. This is something like we do get complaints through our 148 hotline regarding their high consumption on electricity bill, complaints with their bills with NAWEG. So we still encourage them. It's an ongoing thing. As long as Pura is here, we are welcoming their calls. Just like if they can come to our offices, we have the electricity engineer there who will be available to discuss the consumption of the differences between the CFL and the incandescent bulb. So we still encourage them to call 148.
There was a study that was done with Pura in collaboration with the Ministry of Energy. And in that study, a study was done to find out how many incandescent light bulbs are out there in the whole of the Gambia. And it turned out that the survey that they have done turned out that there is about 800 to 900,000 light bulbs out there. But what they also realized out of this study was that if we are to change all those 900,000 light bulbs to energy savers, the equivalence in terms of savings that we'll make will be equivalent to a whole machine in CO2. So you see, that for me, was very striking in that, if you can save a whole generator, it means, this generator can be a standby generator. Thereby, there'll be a direct correlation in terms of the load shedding, that there will be not much load shedding because you have a spare generator that will be standing by for maintenances and all the things that NAWEG gets to do. Yeah. Because, machines, as we all know, are not things that just operate endlessly without having problems. They do tend to have problems now and again. Yes, but if they do, if, for instance, that is the case, we have a spare generator that is workable generator that is standing there, this one can step in to actually help NAWEG to make sure that people have uninterrupted electricity. And if, on the other hand, you look at it in terms of access, we can say a lot of people can get electricity that don't have electricity. Because as of now, NAWEG don't have the capacity to supply the whole of the Gambia. But this is something that can go a little way in helping that.
We've spent the whole day here today at Tobacco Road, in the Tobacco Road district in Banjul. What have we been doing? We've been changing 1,000 lamps. The old bulbs, we've put a red cross on the old bulbs. We want to get rid of these bulbs here, and we want to be able to use these bulbs here. This has been our message from Banjul at Tobacco Road, and we urge all the people who will see this message coming out on your screens to change your habits, buy the new CFL bulbs, which is this one, and